Welcome back to Mystery Mondays, the Monday Mystery Show. For more Sinking Island, we're going to see if Nolan has anything to say about that document we just got. He does, okay.
The resale price of your shares to your boss seems pretty ridiculous, Nolan. It seems like some kind of arrangement between you both. Tell me if I'm mistaken.
The truth is that I am very indebted to Walter Jones in many spheres.
You know you're only going to get lawyer answers out of this guy, right? No, right, Jack Norm? Jack Norm. I have to channel Colio in order to remember Jack's name.
To strengthen Walter's position in his own firm in light of the merger with the company World Cement. A plan that was essential for Walter.
World Cement's all one word. Is that a real company?
How could I not have helped him, Inspector?
You more to talk about this?
This document is crushing, Nolan. What do you have to say in your defense?
Crushing? You're going too far, Inspector. I'm not going to pretend to be a professor of financial economics, but I do know that the CWPF received very handsome dividends, whereas my company suffered terrible setbacks in the financial markets. And I'll add that if the Construction Workers' Pension Fund had really wanted to secure its investments, it ought to have invested in Treasury bonds. The fund couldn't have been ignorant about that. The real victim is not the one we suspect, Inspector.
These documents attest that you had an accomplice and that you personally benefited at the expense of the employees of World Cement by using the company high placement, which you then got rid of. The collection of these proofs could be a very good motive for killing Walter Jones.
Wait a second, Inspector. I willingly acknowledge that I helped my niece find a job. She's a brilliant young girl, and it was unacceptable that she was on unemployment. As for this so-called financial investment,
that's not your choice to make.
I only paid myself for the worth of my work and my expertise. That doesn't make me a murderer.
Stop making fun of me, Nolan. I'm beginning to see clearly through your petty skullduggery. You're going to respond to all of this in front of the court. Be sure of that.
I know the law well, and I know my rights, Inspector. I therefore refuse to continue this interrogation with you. I have nothing more to say to you in this regard.
So I got, we still have more to say about it, apparently. I got all pissed off last week, and I went looking around for rage posts. I went rage searching for rage posts on this game. And there's a very good chance. I saw one post in the forum where it was like somebody said the so-called book puzzle is not necessary to finish the game because obviously everybody in the world would complain about that fucking puzzle because it's fucking terrible. But apparently it's also unnecessary. I guess it's useless to hope either way. Either it was necessary and I did it, fine, or it wasn't necessary and I did it, fine, I guess. But then when I was in the he's still talking about this. Okay, you said you were done talking about. I'm not talking about this anymore. I don't think that post was right. I think that puzzle was necessary because otherwise, why would he talk about it for so long? I'm gonna have to come back and talk to him about it more later, probably. So I saw more complaining, and this is why. As soon as I get stuck from now on, I'm pulling up the walkthrough. We're done. We're not playing around with this fucking game. We're not using a walkthrough. Because apparently, I didn't pixel hunt in the kitchen enough, even though I've been there 1,000 times trying to pixel hunt in it. There's a drawer in there with a knife. And that knife is what you need to open the drawer in Walter Jones' study. My fucking flathead screwdriver won't work. You can't use the fucking flathead screwdriver to fucking jippy over the drawer in a desk. You have to use a fucking butter knife! This drawer. None of these drawers open. None of these cabinets open. This tiny fucking drawer has a fucking butter knife in it, which is the only thing you can use to fucking jimmy open a desk drawer! It looks like a scalpel. It says kitchen knife. It's way too small to be a kitchen knife. It looks too sharp to be a butter knife. What's the difference? Look at this screwdriver. Why, if anything, the screwdriver would be more fitted to do what I'm about to do with it, because that dinky little scalpel-looking knife would probably bend. It would probably fucking bend if I tried to use it for this purpose. But okay, that's what we're doing now. So yeah, I'm looking up the walkthrough whenever I get stuck from now on. I'm not running around trying to look for this shit. on every goddamn screen. There's 2,000 screens in this game. You expect me to fucking scan every fucking pixel of every fucking screen? You're out of your fucking mind. What drawer was it I was supposed to open with this? I thought it was one of these. Oh no, that's what it is. There's a hidden compartment in this drawer. How can you tell? Because apparently if you hover over this section instead of this section, you can use an item on it. And if you pay really close attention, you can tell that these are two different sections. And that if you click on this one, it doesn't do anything, which means you have to use an item on it. Not a screwdriver.
I definitely forgot something.
If using it for this purpose makes it slightly more, but realistically, this is a butter knife. It's a weird looking butter knife, but realistically, this is a butter knife. This doesn't look like a steak knife. This isn't a kitchen knife like it says. Oh God, it's just a document.
Charming, these relationships between various members of the Jones family.
All right, let's go to talk to everybody about this then. All right, no, the new document doesn't have anything to do with you really, but I guess I left some talking undone.
Ask all the questions you'd like to ask. I'm at your service.
We'll talk about both of them.
Noland, you had good reason to get rid of Walter Jones.
We're talking in circles, Jack Norm. He's obviously got his lawyer guard up. He's not going to fucking say anything that you're going to get anything out of.
Inspector, that these confessions were extracted from me by blackmail. And obviously without any witness. They therefore have no legal value. Inspector Norm,
you said you were
I
done
know
talking
that the
about
charges
this!
are against me, but I can assure you that I am no murderer.
I could not have imagined that Jones could be such a bastard. And between us, I have the impression that you are not much better than him.
Nobody on this island is any better than him. They're all shitheads. Everybody in this fucking game, including you, Jack Norm, is a fucking shithead!
Anyway, truly sorry to learn that Clara's father has serious health problems. I did
everything bad every character has to say about every fucking other character in this game is 100% fucking true. Brian is a slut. Christina's a slut. Claire's a fucking moron. Billy's an alcoholic loser.
Walter Jones was not fond of Clara.
Walter Jones certainly asked me to find out about the chances of buying back Clara's father's consulting firm. I was supposed to advise Walter on the optimal moment to buy back the firm. At the best price, obviously.
Oh my God.
I think that Walter Jones was unfair to Christina.
It's gonna go over every page.
Pleasant. Do you think like him that she's a gold digger without any scruples? After all, she could also have been interested in the estate.
Walter Jones didn't handle people with kid gloves. And Christina Bromsky was no exception, Inspector. Walter knew that Christina was manipulative and scheming. He was also well informed of Christina's limits. I don't think she will succeed in diverting the estate for her profit despite her physical assets, which are obvious to the eyes, if I might dare say so.
She's damaged with the scar and everything.
What was Walter Jones' position with regards to your political career, Marco?
He was not interested in my career of late, Inspector. Grandfather thought Christina was a
Apparently they'll all talk about that Nolan file too, I guess.
She was, in a way, badly cast for the role, politically incorrect. He wanted me to break up with Christina. I could not bring myself to do this, Inspector. My girlfriend runs my career with verve and intelligence. We're a darned good team together, and it's out of the question that I leave her. You know, last month, Christina was subject to a terrible attack, but I refuse to believe that Walter Jones could be behind it.
If that was a recent injury, then we're making more sense.
This document seems to incriminate Noland. I'm wondering if you know something that is liable to contradict it?
Grandfather mentioned his doubts about his attorney in passing, but I ascribed it to his naturally cautious temperament, which was almost suspicious. I could never have imagined that Noland could have fallen to this. I'm surprised that he got away with it.
So no, you just think he did it.
This transfer of shares fully reimburses Walter
God, these
Jones.
two documents are going to keep me busy for the rest of the fucking episode.
It seems obvious to me,
I don't want to complain about that, but these two documents are really boring, and they have nothing interesting to say about any of them. It's just like, yeah, I think Nolan did it. I'm innocent, I swear.
I think that your grandfather was pretty unfair.
It's both of these documents. Both of these documents are just lists of motives for the characters.
For him, all girls from Eastern Europe were unscrupulous gold diggers. Unfortunately, it's no longer possible for me today to get him to change his mind, Inspector.
Sad face.
Do you think Walter Jones's fears about Christina were justified?
I owe a lot of things to my grandfather, and in the past he was an excellent advisor. But his mistrust of Christina
Like
was my fault.
I guess we're getting statements from
Inspector,
these.
even my electors
That must be
are
the only
charmed by her.
Or are we
That
looking for
said, if
Well,
one day I
I'll
had to
see.
choose
I'll look if
between
we're
her
looking
and
for
politics,
declarations.
You could be sure I would choose her.
This page from Jones's diary about Christina's aggression seems totally like a confession to me.
Yes.
Confession from who?
Of course, I had doubted the facts at times. I asked my grandfather for an account, but he always denied having ordered the aggression. I thank you, Inspector, for furnishing me with this proof.
The attack?
Walter Jones is dead. Peace be with him. But at least this sad affair has been brought to light.
Why did Walter
Not done
Jones
talking about
talk about
this.
Sonia's desire for revenge?
I remember Sonia's courage in defending our father, who had been humiliated by Walter Jones. I admire her
Your
enormously
father.
for
Who's
having
your
had the
father?
courage.
This is the
My
first I've
father,
heard of any of your
Edward
parents.
Jones, was not a man of stature, you understand. For a long time, I
So he's
admired
dead?
my grandfather
Are
and
all of your
despised
parents
my father.
dead? How
Surely.
did this happen? They're not all siblings, right? There's cousins involved too. There's siblings and cousins. There's at least 2 sets of parents. There's no deck. There's no deck in this one. What about this one? Is there a deck in this one? There's no decks in this one. So what I'm doing right now is not getting me any closer to solving these puzzle pieces.
This document seems to incriminate Noland. I'm wondering if you know something that is liable to contradict it?
I don't know anything about this business, and I wonder if it's not yet another of my grandfather's dirty tricks. You know, Mr. Norm, he was really of a sort. He loved destroying people. Maybe he wanted to destroy Noland for pleasure. Maybe Noland knew too many things that could have compromised him, and my grandfather wanted to get rid of his attorney.
This transfer of shares fully reimburses Walter Jones for the embezzlement of funds by Hubert de Noland, doesn't it?
He succeeded in beating Hubert de Noland at his own game.
The
That's
thing,
all. My
it'd be
grandfather
one
was
thing
very
if it was
smart, you have to
1 or
admit.
2 statements about each of these documents.
Why did Jones speak of
But
your desire
they
for
have-
revenge against him?
All of them have
Mr.
so many
Norman,
lines about
I
all
will
of these
never forget
documents.
you hear me,
And
never that
it
day.
seems
The day
I'm
when
only
I was
getting.
able to restore some dignity to my father, who
I'm
was
not really
humiliated
feeling
by this
like
jerk
it
Walter
needs
Jones.
this much.
And if I had
It
a
needs
choice,
this much
I
dialogue
would have
written
killed my
about these.
grandfather that day. It was everything he deserved. Yes, I would have so liked to kill Walter Jones.
Okay,
get it.
this is just a formality, Baida. You could make your little faces.
Excuse me, I am distracted.
Never mind.
I have what I need. See you later.
Jack has some sense in him. I saw what last week when I looked up the walkthrough, I noticed that it said like there's 2 different modes. There's an adventure mode and a race against the clock mode. So I was like, oh, did I pick that? Did I pick one of those? And so I went back to episode 1 and I confirmed that I picked adventure mode. So there's no worries. And that's probably why it always says pause when I come into my PPA, which is still stupid. I don't know why it can't say what time it is. The time is still... There's still a variable for the time that ticks forward as we've been over. If I come into the saves, you can see it's 5 p.m. But this is the only way I can see what time it is now, is to save and check the time that way. Because apparently, if you don't pick real-time mode, then you don't get to see what time it is in your PPA. It's pause time.
What is the connection?
I just think it
between
would be
Walter Jones
nice to
and
know
your
what time it
father's
is at any
consulting
given
firm?
point in time, just for
You're
like
certainly well
set and
informed,
setting,
Inspector.
you know. It's
Walter
raining.
Jones is responsible
It's
for the
raining,
collapse
so I
of my
can't like
father's
just look
consulting
outside, look out the window,
The
go
jerk
outside
didn't
and
want to
see
help Billy, who was in
what
danger
kind of
being
what time it
finished
is.
off by the
Like
Russian mafia because of some
even
gambling debts.
even that would
The
be
old
slightly
man
better.
wouldn't lift a
I would
finger.
still prefer to
And
know
it
what
was my
time it
father
is.
who
Time
absorbed
it is.
Billy's debts.
I don't.
He did it for me, of course.
Just
but he counted on Billy repaying him
I
in
don't
the
expect it
shortest
to have
possible
any
time.
any benefit to me
Obviously, Billy wasn't
gameplay
able
wise,
to
but
reimburse him. That put my father's
like I said,
business in difficulty.
I like to know where I am
Poor
in
man
a
had
story.
heart attack and,
What
in
time
fact, he
is this
almost
all
died, you
happening?
know. He's still not out of that mess. And guess what? The Jones
5 p.m.
Company
is
in
a
line to
is
buy
a
my
different
father's
context
firm.
from 11
I
a.m.
dreamed of strangling Jones.
It's a whole different
Inspector.
world.
Yes, I really dreamed it.
Everybody's just like, I want to kill that motherfucker. I
impression
wanted
that
to.
Walter Jones was
It's not
not
fair
very
that somebody else got to do it.
affectionate with
Walter Jones knew that my father's health was poor after the payment of his consulting office was stopped, and he didn't do anything about it. Even though he was a self-made man just like my father, he could have tried to understand that for my father all would be lost. Especially because this was all because of Billy, Inspector. Yes, Jones was a monster. A cruel and heartless man.
Okay. Oh, God.
All this seems to indicate that Billy got himself in a real
Why
suit.
are we still
And his
talking
family
about
with
it?
him.
Why
What do
do
you
we
think?
need to keep
It
talking
is,
about
above all,
everything?
Walter Jones who got us into that soup, Inspector. That old jackal was in no position to give lessons in morality, believe me. It was he who never wanted to
And
absorb
knowing
the
that
debts of my
that
husband,
real-time mode
Walter
exists,
Jones,
I kind of
one
know
of the richest
why.
men in the
I kind of
world,
know
didn't
why
let
there's
go
so
of a
much
cent
dialogue.
for
It's a
his
fucking
grandson.
trap.
I didn't think Jones was such a jerk.
Which just makes that mode
doesn't seem to be much
seem
better.
even dumber.
As far as
Luckily,
I'm
I
concerned,
was not
Walter
dumb
Jones
enough to
can
think
burn
that
in
that
hell,
sounded cool,
Inspector.
like I was
And
dumb
no one
enough to
deserves
think that
no
hard
better.
mode and
He's the one
vampire
who
sounded
advised
cool.
his boss to let my father's consulting firm collapse
Luckily,
to
I
pieces
wasn't
so that
that
they could
dumb.
buy it at
I was like, this is a
throwaway
point-and-click
price.
adventure
See you
game.
later.
Real time does not go with that. Especially not when they're laying traps like this, where it's like we have written thousands of pages of dialogue, but if you try to click on it all in real time mode, then you're just gonna get a game over. Okay, so I don't need any of these declarations. Then I'm looking at the walkthrough. I'm tired of listening to these people talk. I can't do it anymore. I can't listen to these people talk about nothing. Yeah, I would have done it, but I didn't do it. And also, I think Nolan did it for sure. Every single one of these fucking things. All right, day 2. Blah, blah, blah. Walter. Walter? What? Okay, no, I still need to use my screwdriver on that desk, apparently. This foot. This is the desk. This is the top of the desk. This is a foot. I'm out of. I can't scream anymore. I'm out of screaming. My energy and patience is all gone. I already used the screwdriver. I've demonstrated that I have the screwdriver. Why do I need to keep doing this? More documents. Oh, I don't care about these documents, just the top documents. Why'd you make me unscrew all those screws then?
A classic attempt at seduction.
Did it help me at all? Did it help me at all, walkthrough? You're telling me to do stuff that is fucking irrelevant. Use my pad of paper on the flag soil and take it to. That was Sinking Island. I'm done with this. But if the rest of the game is me looking at a walkthrough, then I don't want to do it. See you next week for something different on Mystery Mondays.